Hey, welcome back to Web Squadron. A question was asked about the WooCommerce tutorial we did. Please go and have a look at it. It covers a lot of the basics and how you go about setting up a shop with WooCommerce, WordPress, and of course, Elementor Pro, the best page builder in the world. Okay, and I said that, and I don't care if you disagree, but you should agree because you're here watching me. Right, and the question they asked was about how did I go about creating these product images using Canva? Because I explained it, but I didn't actually show it in massive amount of detail. Why should you do this, by the way? This is because if you want to make sure your products in your shop are consistent, you want to make sure you either size them accordingly before you upload them, or do it in Media Library, which I'll show you, or you do it in Canva, or any other graphical tool, Photoshop as well. There's loads of things out there you can use. So let's go ahead and have a look at that. I'm Imran Siddiq, Web Squadron, and I'm here to help you get the best out of Elementor and WordPress to help you, your clients, and your businesses. I mean, hey, look, please do like and subscribe, and please do follow us, because we have so much that we want to share with you. Okay, and if I'm annoying, I'm really sorry for that. It's just the way I am. Okay, cool. So, if you don't have consistently sized images for your product, the problem you're going to get is that you might have some images that are about that big, and then another image is that big, and it's going to start to stagger. And there's nothing more unprofessional or annoying when that happens. Or you might have images that are kind of the same size, but the way you're showing them, you've got a big pair of jeans and then you've got a small pair of jeans, and you'll go, well, that's the image, that's the photo, that's how I had it. Yes, that's probably true, but if you spend the time just to modify the look of it, it's going to help you out a huge amount in getting your shop to look more professional. So let's have a look at how we can do that. I'm going to go to Canva, canva.com. It's free to use. Yes, you can go premium, which is what we do, so we can save all of our designs and things we got. But if you don't want to go premium, you don't have to. You can use it for free. What I always do is if I'm doing a shop or a product for someone, I create a logo. The reason I go for logo is because it's a 500 by 500 pixel size. And that's perfectly fine for me. What I then do is go to home. I don't go to home, I go to file. You go to file and I say show margins. You see that? We now have a hashed or a dashed border within the image, but it's given me some padding, some breathing space. What I then do is add in the image. So let's go ahead and let's just add in an element. Let's just add something in, okay? Let's just go for t-shirt, like so. Here we go. Let's just add this product in. There we go. Let's drag that in, and we'll make it we'll leave it as a red color. Right now, when you add in your product or whatever you add in, it could be a picture. It could be a logo, it's whatever you're selling, okay? What is going to be the images that go with your product? You don't just drop it in and walk off. What you do is you pick the image up and you kind of increase the size. Bear in mind that you're not kind of going outside of the boundaries of that hashed area or dashed area. So I'm already now at the limit at the top and bottom. I've got a bit more space on the left and right, but if I drag any more, I'm going to go outside of the boundary. I will now leave that as it is, right? I will then download that as a PNG file, and then I will compress it with tiny PNG. I might do a PNG to JPEG, further compression, and then images to WebP. You know, you go through the motions, but that is the image. If I then add in another image like so here we go, here we have an actual picture. I'm just going to drag this and now try and stay. No, I'm outside of the limitations there, so I'm just going to bring it in, and I'm now just going to center it. So now this one is wider, but it's not as tall. But I have now put it kind of in the center. You can see those pink lines. They're telling me the center point. That is okay. So now what will happen is, when those images are presented, they're all going to be 500 by 500 originally. Of course, when they're on WooCommerce, it will scale it and adjust it, whatever, accordingly. But it means they're all kind of roughly equally sized. And that's what I did when I started to create some images for the sample shop that you saw here. 500 by 500. I put in a logo, so that now was within the boundaries, okay? This is a different sized logo, but the width is the same as what we have here. Look at the gap here and look at the gap there, right? They're kind of eating up the same estate. So even though it is a different sized image inside, it kind of works, right? It's not, your eyes aren't going, ugh! You know, you're not jarred into like, you know, like someone just slapped you or anything. You're okay, right? That hurt. Right. So this is how you do your images, and you download them, compress them, and that's how you work with them. And so if you're using Photoshop or photopea.com, which is like a free version of Photoshop online, any tool you want, set your canvas, set your borders, and make sure your images sit within there. Got it? So even, you know, so have a think about that. And if you are going to put in a photo, maybe of someone, so let's say, you know, you decide, right, we're going to stick in, let's go for, I can't find any good photo, but let's just go for this photo here, right? I might adjust it a little bit by cropping it a little bit to try and get it then to fit within whatever size I want it to be. But I'm always going to ensure it never goes beyond the upper or the outer boundaries of the borders, okay? Then what you then do after you've added in your image and you've done all of your conversions and all of that, okay? Let's just go to WP admin. If we then go to our media, okay, here we have the images, and look, they're all 500 by 500, okay? That is a matter of fact. I could, if I want, edit them, scale them down smaller, okay? But what I want to get across is, what if I have added in an image? So let's pretend this image, okay, I'm actually going to add in another image, right, which is now not to scale, okay? So let's just upload one. So let's add new, and let's just pick off, let's just go for this image here that we are using for somebody's website, okay? So here we are, we now added in an image, right? This image is 1920 by 1080. It's not been compressed yet, so don't beat me up yet. I've just added it in straight off the downloads file, but if it was compressed, it would be smaller. This image now, if you add it to the product, it will take it, it will put it in a square, but it's going to totally mess up the center point of that and what was I trying to get across on the image. I haven't modified it to work. So what you could do is, if you have done that with your image, you could click edit, right? And you could go to the scale option. And I would say only at this moment, mess around with the height. Don't worry about the width, just go for the height. So I've now scaled it to be 500. I know the width is still 889, but the height is 500. We then click scale, right? And then I am going to cancel and come out of that. And there's a reason I come out of it, because if you do the crop straight after doing the scale, it sometimes crops the original image and not the one we just scaled. So once you've scaled it, come out and go back in. So you click edit. I need to come over here so you can see me better. So now we go back in. It is still 500 in width. We now go to crop, and I just pick up this bit here. And as soon as I do that, okay, if I just show you here, let me just do, can you see me properly? Yeah, you can. So if I now start to move this, can you see down here, we've got selection. It's now maintaining the 500 height, but it's allowing me to move the left and right parameters. So I'm just going to straight away type in over here 500. I now have an exact 500 grid. You see that? So I'm now going to decide, well, what is my image? Okay, so have a think about it. If you haven't gone and set it, you might need to tinker with your image. So I'm going to go for something like that. And I'm then going to click crop. And then I'm going to click save. That is now a 500 by 500 image. Of course, it's nothing like what we had here, where we had a nice border going, you know, around the logo, but it is the same size. So if you do have variation in what the image content is, you can still get around that by doing what we've done here. So as long as the size is consistent, you'll be okay. But like I always say, sometimes it's better to take the time to take the image over somewhere and make it consistent. And again, what we did here was, these are logos, and the logos were put on top of a generic background. Here's the background image. We took that image, we put it onto Canva, and then on top of on top of that background, we then put these images. Okay, so we just had this consistent look. So again, you can add this bit of a branding to your images, okay, without having to install other third-party plugins because you want to have a certain wording or whatever, or the way it looks. You can be quite dynamic with this. I mean, you could if you want as well. Let's say your background for your section was black, right? You could, if you want, mess around with the borders of it so you have like jagged effects going all the way around it. So your product is there, but it looks like it's a jagged image. I mean, maybe not, but I'm just letting you know there are ways you could do things like that with Canva. Look, I hope this has helped you understand how you can use Canva to now set up your images and use the media library settings with scaling and cropping a bit better to get consistency in your WooCommerce shop. Hey, I'm Imran Siddiq. I hope you liked. Well, I hope you are liking right now, so please click like. And don't forget to subscribe, because the more subscriptions I get, the better it is for me as well, because it means that you love me and I love you, and I want to keep creating fantastic videos for you. Hey, don't forget to follow, and I'll see you soon.